This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Hello. I don't see you at all. Can you see me?
Oh, I can see you.
I can't see you. I got the blue screen, the little round thingamajigger.
All right. Well, I'm sure Bill will be looking into it. So welcome, everybody. I can see you, though. You're on, Althea. So
there
as long as you can hear us.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
welcome.
Cool. Thanks, Bill.
Myself.
So welcome to the Magical Mofos. And gosh, I don't even know. What date is it today? The 19th? The 19th, 18th? Right?
18th. 18th, yeah.
There you go. I told you. Couldn't remember.
One of those days.
Yeah. So I am Diane Latte of soulrestoration.ca.
And I am Althea Montgomery, Creative Clearings with an S.com. You always laugh at me when I say .com.
And I'm .ca because I'm up in Canada.
Up in Canada. Sorry, I'm trying to get.
I actually, when I was buying the domain for Soul Restoration, I looked up the .com. I think it was $20,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like it was and then the .ca was about $7. So it was kind of an easy decision to make.
Skipping the .com then. Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I think people buy domains that sound good or that have words in it that, they just, and then they sell them. So, I mean, that's a good gig, really. I wish I'd thought about that. But anyway.
Well, they had the .com, so I took it, and it wasn't that much money, so it wasn't $20,000. Yeah. That's crazy. Wow, I'm a little.
So, as always, we take live callers. Althea and I can help you clear stuff. I was going to say another word. But if there's anything that you'd like to change or create or clear in your life, anything that doesn't feel good, any blockages, anything like I say, you'd like to create that you don't know how, or you're not necessarily how, but because I don't know that we can help with that. But anything that you'd like some help with, we can do that. The phone number to call in is 602-666-6027. That's the main line. Do you still have your little paper?
All right. All right. Yeah, so please call in any questions that you have. If you want to get any type of energy clearings, if you just want to laugh and play, get a different perspective on things, talk about the meanings of words, anything you want to do. But we're here to help clear up any perceived blockages that you may think that you have. And
Althea, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me at all?
I can. We have somebody on the line.
All right. Well, magical. Okay. Sorry.
And I was trying to interrupt you, but you kept talking, so I wasn't sure if you could hear me or.
I don't know. It sounds like Charlie Brown's mom in my ear sometimes. So.
Like
Not you. It's okay.
So let's
welcome.
Yeah. So because Althea and I can always talk, but we're here to work with people. We don't. Yeah. We talk on our own. So we'll go to Alea in New York.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
This is Alea. It's such an interesting platform. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
So I'm familiar with Althea, but I'm new to you. Thank you for being here. I have a couple of questions, some things that I'm working through, and I just feel like somehow I'm hitting blocks, mostly in a relationship. And I just wanted to understand if there's something I'm missing or something I'm not clear on, and I just keep going in circles. That's
Okay.
what it feels like.
So are you, just before we start or ask a few more questions, are you familiar with the access consciousness clearing statement? Because I use that a lot.
I'm not.
Okay.
I've only had one experience with Althea, and outside of that, I'm not really,
Okay.
I don't know that I'm clear.
Okay, so I
Tell me.
use that, the clearing statement, and so I just want to mention it really quickly. If anybody has questions about it, you can Google it, Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, and because it sounds a little funny, it's right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds, and I use it. It's like a magic wand that clears stuff. I really like it. So I just wanted to mention that, because if we start working, Althea doesn't use it really, but I do. So, right, Althea, you don't usually use it when you're doing the clearing work. I mean, you do it when me and you are talking, but so.
Well, I mean, we're both going to be clearing you. We're both going to be clearing you simultaneously, and then we'll say a few things. But yeah, when I'm clearing, I don't use the clearing statement. I know it well and all that, and totally fine and in alignment with it. It's just Diane will use it, and it's just acronyms for things that you can look up if you want. But it's all going to shift things out. It's all fun.
I just mention it because it just sounds funny, and I just want to make sure that it's, people know that they can look it up and it's all explained. So
yeah, absolutely.
So what specifically, Alea, do you like? What's your question, or what is it exactly that you?
Yeah, I can be real specific. So I find myself attracted to yet another guy who I can't figure out if he's gay or if he's straight. And so that's one. Number two, I feel that I'm fairly intuitive about most things, except when it comes to love and relationships. And I'm 43, and I'm at a point where I'm just wondering, is there something in my consciousness that I'm unconsciously blocking myself or someone coming into my life? Or have I just, not met the right person? So, for example, I literally was scheduled to fly out to Prague for a trip. A person I was dating sort of didn't want a long-distance relationship, but he insisted. He's wonderful. And he bought a ticket, and Berlin Airlines filed bankruptcy and went out of business. And so all of a sudden, that sort of got pulled away. But that's not the first time this individual was sort of pulled out of my life. And then enters this wonderful person who I just really connected with and felt spiritually aligned with and emotionally connected with. And yet we can't seem to physically connect. And it may just be scheduling. It may be that there's someone else in his life, or it may be that he's actually not into women. I always thought this individual was gay. So I was quite surprised, the feelings I felt and the direction in which his attention had focused on me. I was shocked, overwhelmed, and interested at the same time. But now I'm starting to question, is it just a friendship? Is he being kind?
Have you asked him?
I did ask. What, if he was gay? Yeah, I did ask him. And I did. And he gave me a statement. He said, a lot of people think that, and I just sort of go with the androgynous thing, and those who have an opportunity.
Yeah, but I mean, did you ask him if he's interested in you?
I've wanted to ask him that more recently, and we've not been able to connect. I mean, he's super, super busy. He really is busy. I get it. He let me stay out at his home in the out in the country for 3 days by myself. But he wasn't able to make it up not that it was my desire just to get away and sort of retreat because I needed it.
Okay.
But he himself, like, even after I went back to his studio to drop off fruit and things, that are important to him from his farm, he was in meetings, so we just literally haven't physically seen each other or connected. And I try not to chase, or I don't want to pursue heavily. I just feel like somewhere in my makeup, I'm not doing something right. Or when it comes to relationships, I'm missing the cues.
Althea, did you want to?
Well,
Do you want me to go ahead, or do you have something?
The first thing that pops up with that is how you're making yourself wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how's that feel? How's that sensation? Like, that's really crappy. You're so wrong. You suck at relationships. You got that record playing in your head all day, all night. So would you like to let all that go? Let's just go ahead and release some of that.
Just some
Everywhere
of
you're beating
it,
up
not
on
all of
yourself. Say that again? Whew.
I said just some of it, not all of it. Just release some of that. I'm just playing.
Just breathe. Hold on. It's really interesting, the things we say to ourselves. And if you're saying it out loud, pretty much guaranteed it's going through your head.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots. So just breathe.
Well, it's interesting because when I'm in a relationship, the thing that I know that I'm an incredible partner. Like, and I know that what I bring is significant. I typically am attracted to extremely smart, extremely accomplished, busy, and what that means is generally they're unavailable, right? So I understand that. I just wonder, like I said, is there something unconsciously beyond what I just said that you just cleared?
One moment. You just said that people, the type of man that you want to be with, are unavailable. Right? Did I hear you correctly? That they're generally unavailable?
I'm just sort of giving you a track record here of like.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that because that energy's there. So can we remove that? Because otherwise the energy's there and you're just going to keep attracting that to yourself, that they're just not, what you want is not available. And just keep looping around again and again and again with that. That you keep seeking what you want, but the flip side of it is that it's not available to you. You can't have it. You've already gone to the conclusion that you can't have it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
the energetic
I hear
that's
you.
there. Okay, so go ahead and just breathe. Go ahead, Diane. I'm going to clear this.
Well, I was going to say, like, are you chasing what you can't have so that you can't have it, or you just have this weird conclusion, this weird sort of causal relationship running, behind that, the type of man that I desire, those men aren't available because they're busy. So what if, that's a causal relationship? So I think the question is that truly what you desire? Is that type of man, the accomplished or whatever it was that you were saying? I can't remember what you said exactly. And you said those men are usually not available because they're busy. So what is it that turns you on? What is it that you look for in men?
Well, I mean, someone who's affectionate and
no, but when you were talking about the accomplished piece,
I'm really attracted to like smart, really engaging conversations. And I say this because I've tried different, right? And it's like, well, I lose I kind of get bored if it's just like, so I'm kind of I know that I'm attracted to someone who's like just brilliant and a different thinker, forward thinker.
Perfect. But somewhere along the way, you've decided that those men are busy.
They're not available to you. Sounds great, but they're not available.
Well, the thing is, you've created this sort of this, you've created this, this is that. You've decided that these people are like this. So you're not even allowing the universe to bring you something different. What if there's a man who is smart and fun and engaging and creative and all of the things you're looking for and has time for you? What about that?
That would be amazing. How
right.
about
So
that?
everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So the way I'm asking this question is basically, when I say, will you destroy and uncreate, it's basically like saying, will you clear that? Would you let that go?
Yeah, I have to let that go.
Yeah, so we don't have to, but it's probably a good thing to do.
I'd like to. Right.
So think about, so bring up all of that energy of like these men, the type of man that you desire. And how's this? Everywhere you've made it wrong to desire this type of man, and therefore have created that this man isn't even possible because you've made it wrong to desire them. Does that make sense? Like, I really want this, but it's wrong for me to want it, so I'm going to somehow screw that up. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
So it's like you have the desire for this type of man, but somewhere you've decided that you're not worth it, or, they're too good for you, or you can't have them, or whatever is running in the background there. And then you create this sort of reality where they're not even available to you. Like there's a wrongness, there's an energy of like, it's wrong for you to desire those men. So does that resonate?
Sort of, yeah. It sort of does. Here's the thing. It's like they come into my world, and they're present, and then their life just sort of kicks in. And
they're what?
I guess, they come into my world, meaning I met this person who's been in my life for a long time, and I just never thought of him in the way, in a romantic way, until he brought it to my attention. And then I sort of shifted like, wow, okay. It was pretty awesome. The feeling, that connection. Right. And then what I was saying is then their lives kick in, meaning what he would call his crazy little life kicked in. Like he doesn't really have time for a relationship. And so I guess rather than listen to him, I was second guessing what that meant. I was questioning whether that meant there was someone else in his life, or
right, instead of just listening to what he was saying.
Yeah, instead of accepting it. Yeah.
And I don't want to take over, Althea. Please interrupt me if there's something you want to say. So I'm going to go back
Okay.
I want to go back to the energy of it not being possible, because you did say this. There's this kind of belief that you have that the kind of men you're attracted to are not available because they're too busy. So can you just focus on that energy and just bring up all of that dynamic and just exponentialize that energy of those men not being available? So the men that I like are not available to me. And then say, interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Interesting point of view.
Can I
yeah.
back up? Because I'm somewhat resistant, because maybe I've not clarified, or maybe I'm not clear. I have relationships with, I should say, I've had previous relationships with extremely successful, but because of the success, there was a certain level of detachment that generally these guys had. And so I pushed that outside, and I thought, I don't want those kind of relationships anymore. I want an engaging, a wonderful, equally or wonderfully successful, whatever. And then I tried that, right? And I was engaged to a person who fed me a lot of stories. He was a screenwriter, so there were a lot of stories. And turns out he just wasn't at all what I thought that he was. And a lot of the stories started to fall away as we spent more time together. And his family alerted me that he was in an alternate state of reality. So this wasn't something that I was just experiencing. This was some behavioral things that I became aware of. So I took a chance and tried something different, yet I'm still attracted to very successful, highly functioning individuals. So I get into relationships with them. It's not that I feel that I can't have them. I actually get into relationships with them. Once I'm in a relationship with them, my question is, I guess I feel like I'm not able to sustain the relationship. What is it that I'm doing that I'm not able to sustain a relationship with someone like that? I guess I should pose it that way. It's not that I'm looking at them from a distance and I can't have what I want. I do have relationships with them. It's just,
right. But you said that they were, yeah, I was responding to what you said about them being too busy for the relationship.
Okay, good. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was,
Yeah, just
okay.
Because there's so many different angles that we could approach this from, so we'll just have to really clarify what aspect of it that we're working on, just because, it's during the show and, there's a lot of energy flying everywhere, so.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure wherever I have a block, just to change that story, I guess, and clear that.
Yeah. So I had a question for you. It kind of feels like you're making yourself wrong again for the relationships too. So I would ask you, is that really true that you couldn't keep the relationships, or is it true that you really didn't want to keep the relationships with those people?
I would say that you're right. When I don't feel that it's right, I move on.
Yeah, so that's a great thing. You're listening to yourself. So can we bring up the energy of everywhere you don't trust yourself? Because there's some energy there of where you're still kind of beating up on yourself for the fact of, oh, I chose these people, and even though I really didn't want to be with them because it wasn't working out the way I wanted, and they had a lot of qualities that I didn't enjoy, you were still trying to make yourself wrong for it. And then the energy you're dragging with you that I'm perceiving is, oh, I can't even trust myself. I tried it this way. I tried it that way. It's still not working for me. So that sound about right? Okay, so just kind of tap into all that juicy energy that's bringing up for you, and let's just clear that out real quick. And just breathe into any areas that call your attention. Just go ahead and let that go. Give yourself permission to let that go. There's nothing to figure out. Everywhere you're trying to figure things out, and everywhere you're trying to make yourself wrong and keep yourself stuck. Breathe and relax. And let's go ahead and let Diane come in here and clear this up about them being too busy, because that's a really good thing to let go of. That's and there's some distraction in there to keep that active. So if you wanna, the interesting point of view is a really cool tool from Access that she was using to help you kind of deactivate all that. So are you okay with her doing that now, so we can hit that aspect of it, of them being unavailable, too busy? Cool? Yeah?
Yeah, Diane, interesting point of view.
It's totally cool. I was like, so is that still there though? So when you go back to thinking about, these successful guys, I'm just going by what you had said. And I know that that's just one piece of it. It's the piece that kind of hit me in the face, as well as, how wrong you are about not having a man. So, and I know you've got them, but you don't have that relationship that you're looking for. So, And you do create your reality. And that's why Althea and I are going to those pieces where we think we can help you shift things so that you are, like you said, releasing those blocks and also, allow you to create something different. But when we don't have what we think we want, it's because there are parts of us that don't want that thing. So that's where we've got to go looking, right? So, so, and the thing is, there's nothing wrong with who you're attracted to. And so anytime that you say, well, I'm into this kind of guy, but this is what happens, that's where I'm talking about. You're creating a causal reality there. You're now telling the universe, okay, well, this is what happens with these guys. So you're not even allowing for the possibility. So that's what I was saying before. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, you did kind of mention, you were wondering if it had something to do with your perception, but you were going at that again in a way of like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with my awareness? And it's not about anything being wrong with your awareness. It's more like, are you listening to your awareness about these relationships? Are you approaching the relationships or the possible relationships from a place of awareness and what you're desiring truly, or from a more reactive place?
Well, that's interesting.
Because it seems... Go on.
I would say that you're... what you first described. Interesting. It's more that I am reacting. I'm in a reaction space as opposed to...
Yeah, because your awareness, your perception, your knowing, your being, that there's no wrongness there. It's that we don't listen to it. And so often people don't listen to their awareness. They don't listen to their intuition, whatever you want to call it. And then something happens, and things don't go the way they think they should, and then they turn it off. And it's like, well, no, that's like, you knew. So then you go, oh yeah, I knew. Perfect. I'll listen to it now. But people instead, they turn it off and they make themselves wrong. So everywhere that you haven't been willing to acknowledge your power, your magic, your awareness, your potential, your possibilities, and everything else I haven't mentioned, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, beyonds. And everywhere that you're not willing to outcreate everybody else you know with relationships, you're not willing to have...
Say that again?
Yeah.
Say that again?
So everywhere that you are not willing to outcreate everybody else you know with relationships, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
I think I know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
Just let it bypass your brain. You want to clear whatever I said? Right,
clear
wrong,
it up
good, bad,
first, then we'll tell you.
Shorts, boys, and beyonds.
So basically, you have to be willing for people to hate you and be jealous of you, because people like to complain, especially sorry ladies. I don't have a man. Look at her. And there's people out there that they see people that are together and happy. And they smile in their face and they're like, why can't I find a man? So basically, it's kind of like that. Are you willing to outcreate it? Whatever their reality is that people around you have constructed as their relationship dynamics, can you allow yourself to create beyond that?
Can you, beyond
absolutely.
it? Can you allow yourself to do better, quote unquote, more, outcreate your parents, your family members, all your friends, like everybody the way they do relationships, because you've learned the way you do relationships. You've learned it from the world around you. You have also decided at some level probably that well, I don't want to outcreate anybody. You don't want to like outshine somebody. You don't want to outdo them, because then it'll make them feel uncomfortable, and then you might get judged, which is what Althea was saying.
That doesn't sound right to me. What if anything?
It's all unconscious. It's not. You don't do it consciously.
Really? Okay.
But
none of this. Most of us are unconscious, just walking around, being drugged around by the nose. We don't know what the heck we're doing or why. That's what we're here to help with. Hello.
But just because I say it out. But just because I said it doesn't make it so. So it's very possible that that's not functioning for you. It might not be where you're functioning from. Something that I picked up. But what were you going to say?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a very common thing. And see, the thing is, we're here to help expand consciousness and awareness so you truly can have the life you desire. This is not about getting into arguments with people, picking on them, not about making people wrong at all. It's like, look, we're perceiving this energy and we see things differently, but there's an energy there. And if you don't have something in your life, or if you keep creating and manifesting things over and over again, that's a good thing to look at right there. Why do I keep attracting this? Why does this keep coming up? You got some content there.
All of us not because there's something wrong with you. Althea and I are not going to tell you it's because there's something wrong with you.
No.
Thank you. No, but that's really, that's one thing that I find interesting is that we're walking around so unconscious most of the time. And for those who have clarity and can see beyond and understand what's happening in the consciousness, that's really exciting to me, because here I am thinking I'm not settling, right? Like, I don't want the life that it just is okie dokie. Meanwhile, if the energy is in there going, I don't want to outshine somebody, I'm like, really? But I want to let that go. If that's blocking, hell yeah. I want to get that out of there.
Because you could, if you imagined that sort of relationship that, with the kind of man that you desire, and that he has time to create something with you, like all of those things, if you made a list of all of the things that you desire, and then really get real with, is this possible? Like, do you really believe that that's a possibility, that you can have that person? Like, really get real. Because if you're not willing to acknowledge what's really there, then you're not going to be able to clear whatever's there, right? So, I mean, if you create a list and you're like, oh no, this is totally possible, then go look for that. Then start choosing that, and then then the moment, so if you truly think it's possible that you find, and I'm just using this as an example because it's what we talked about. If you truly believe it's possible to find that man who's, intelligent and successful and has time, right? Because he's made great investments. He doesn't have to work 9 to 5 every day, or 10-hour days. Like, that is, there are people who, are successful in different ways. And so if you truly think that all that is possible, then what are you still doing with the guy? What are you hemming and hawing about with the guy who doesn't fit that list?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm saying, like, you want to get real about, like, do you really believe that that's possible? If you do, then you're going to have to make different choices, I guess, until, so that you're like, okay, universe, this is what I'm choosing, is this dude, this sort of person, or better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Better. Go for better.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I just caught myself. I also realized that I feel somewhat stuck in the Midwest. Like, that guy might not be here, or there are few of them to choose from, So I think
that's
who's
exactly
that
what
belong to?
Yeah.
That's like a huge collective consciousness thing, especially for women. There ain't enough good men. They're all taken.
Well, everything that is, will you just try not create all of that?
Let's release that. Yeah, let's go. Woo. Woo.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let me
You
go
don't
back
have
to
to
what I
live
was
with
trying
that.
to
You
do.
don't have to think
Hang
that
on,
way.
Althea. Hang on, Althea. Let me
Sorry.
go back to what I was trying to do 15 minutes ago. I want you to bring up the energy. Can you bring up the energy of what it is that you're looking for in a man? All the things you think you want in a man and that you don't think is actually possible for you. Okay?
Wow.
So just bring up that energy, yeah. And exponentialize it. Make it even bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, and now, interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Interesting point of view.
Interesting point of view.
I have this point of view.
I have this point of view.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. So how is that now? Has that changed at all?
I just feel giggly. I don't know.
That works.
Yeah. Huh?
She feels giggly.
And what if you sort of looked at what it is that you're looking for and go for the energy of what that is instead of trying to be in the specifics of what you think that is in terms of what the man could be doing, or because now you're going to get caught up in the story of how the man is constructed. Like, I don't mean physically, but like, or maybe physically, but you're going to get caught up in like what he's doing and how he's doing it, blah, 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 instead of like the energy of the relationship that you're looking for and the energy of the life, the kind of life that you would create together. Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. I think what was so attractive to me with this individual was that it was literally the energy between us in a room. It was so full. It was a comfortable, we remarked about, what is this? Because it was so full and yummy. And he said to me over dinner, I think I need to consult someone on this. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, oh, I don't know. Like, I said, what do you mean? Like a psychic, tea leaves? And he joked. And so I said to him, well, if you had two questions to ask, what would you ask? And he said, one, what's the cost? And two, what's the purpose? And I said, well, that's interesting. I mean, I usually ask what's the purpose in any relationship? You know, what's my purpose in this person's life? You know, what do I have to give? Whatever. Vice versa, but not what's the cost. You know, I thought that was odd. And I thought, well, maybe your time. And then I thought about it later and I was like, well, how much are you willing to invest? You know, like, so the energetic feeling was a presence between us that we could both feel. And I guess that's where I went to a romantic place. He was there, but I went more romantic than friendship. And that's where I say, you know, I'll love him or care for him, I'm sure, for a long time, and we can be really great friends. So if I'm still stuck on that person, sorry. If he's gay or straight, I'll still care for him.
Oh, a lot going on.
I mean, it kind of comes down to, like, if you'd like a relationship with him and he doesn't desire a relationship, then
there's nothing there. As far as a relationship is what you're saying.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If maybe you can have yummy times together while you're looking for something else. I don't know.
No, I think what you said I feel a little lighter when you were asking how do I feel. I said giggly.
Cool.
Yeah.
So look at a list. Look at writing up a list of the things that you desire in a relationship, in a man, and then ask to create something beyond that, or again, like going for the energy of what that is and what that life would be like. But then you've also got to be, like I said, ask yourself and be real with yourself about whether you truly believe you can have that or deserve it. I mean, and I'm not saying you don't or do. I don't even believe in that concept, but that's the language we speak in, right? In this reality of like, well, I'm not worth this, or am I worthy of that, or I don't deserve this, or I do deserve that, or there's a lot of things that can come into play. But a lot of times we think that we desire something, and it's we won't even allow ourselves to have it, which I think is kind of what Althea and I were talking about. So that's where you want to get really real about, okay, well, these are the things I desire. First of all, do you truly desire them? And then secondly, okay, well, am I really allowing myself to have that? Because if you desire it, there's no reason you can't have it. The only reason you don't have it is that you're not allowing yourself to have it. You're not creating it.
Mm-hmm.
As you said to her earlier, when she asked you to perceive the energy of the type of relationship you wanted, not to go into specifics, I was really getting a lot of resistance around that. And I was getting that you won't even allow yourself to tap into that. It's like you've never had it, so you don't even know where the heck that energy is. And then also mixed in with a little of, I thought I almost had it quite a few times, and then it wasn't it. So there's that energy again of, I'm not quite sure what it is I want, and I thought I had it, and everything keeps ending badly. So whatever that energy is, where you're still blocking to even just tap in and allow the energy of the relationship you truly want to actually come into your reality. Can we clear that up now? Is that okay? Let any kind of resistance. Okay, so just breathe and just notice how you're resisting as you try to just tap into that energy. You don't have to figure out what it is. You just literally ask for it and it shows up. So I'm just going to shift out anywhere you're blocking that. Just pull it in. Allow all of your cells to just start acclimating to the having of this as your reality. And if you catch yourself going into what the guy looks like, what you guys are doing, you don't have to do that. Just what's that sensation?
You're awesome.
Did I catch it?
And also, Alea, can you acknowledge that you've created all of these situations? So anywhere that a relationship hasn't worked out, can you acknowledge that you've created that for whatever reason without going into the wrongness of you?
That is correct.
Like without saying without going into the wrongness of you. That's really, really important. And to say, oh, cool. Oh, look I created that. Oh, okay. Well, what would it take for me to choose something different now? What would it take for me to create something that works? That makes sense?
Good question, huh?
That makes a lot of sense.
Sit with that one for a moment.
Because when you say things like, when we go into like, well, it ended, or this happened, or that happened, we go into victim mode, right? Like this happened to me, and then when things are happening to you, then you can't create something different because you're not the creator.
You're the
victim.
No,
in those cases, I was making shit happen. So, like, you're right.
Yes.
Like, that's really...
Yeah.
Yes. You absolutely were. You're a powerful creator. You created it. Doesn't that feel lighter when you just say, oh, I created this? Rather than, that didn't work out.
Uh-huh.
That sucks.
Right.
Because you didn't want to be with any of them anyway. I mean, the one guy, well, all of them you said were too busy, and then the other guy lied or something. Like, who wants that? I mean, you don't want that.
Yeah, no, that's not a good situation.
Yeah, that's not what you wanted. So, bravo to you to listening to your awareness and letting it go. And I want to really say this, that I may have said this before on another show. Awareness is not comfortable. It's not.
Mm.
Sometimes it's extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's why there's not very many people that choose it. There's times where you're like, whoa, I should not know this. And then what happens is we don't listen to our awareness, and then we're like, man, how the heck did I get? I knew it. How did I get in that situation? Because you just were like, oh no, I can't have this awareness. So when you know that it's not necessarily going to be comfortable most of the time, you may be willing to not beat up on yourself so much about it and go, okay, this is just awareness. But the fact that you have the awareness gives you a lot more power to choose beyond that, because you're not pushing it away and going, no, I can't be aware of this. I don't want to know this. So you're,
well,
right?
Yeah, but you guys are right though. You do. You're right. How you can be aware and then just turn it off, or not even realize you're not listening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
so now
and
catch
what if
doing
what if you are so powerful and such a creator that you're bringing in all of these relationships with these men that you've had relationships with in other lifetimes, and you're like friggin' bringing them all in this life, because it's like everything that is, like, would you just destroy and uncreate all of your vows and promises and contracts with everybody else across all lifetime, space, and dimensions, just so that you can start from scratch?
Yes. Can we please? Thank you.
Yes. Done. Everything that doesn't allow that. Destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whew. And now just go create something new. Like a magical mofo.
Yes.
How about that? You guys, that's amazing. Every Monday, you guys are fantastic. Do you have any other callers? What's going on out there?
That's funny. Yeah, just now you get to start fresh. You notice how much lighter you're feeling? That was a lot that left.
Well,
wow.
the tears are coming for sure. You can't see me, but I really felt like there were other lifetime issues going on, and I didn't know how to break that. Or thank you. That's wow.
Just say I'm done.
What'd you say?
Done.
I said we're here every Monday night.
Oh my god.
Okay, cool. Leah, we're gonna say hi to another caller if you're good.
I'll keep listening. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. We have another caller.
So,
Emma.
Yeah. Emma. Hey, Emma.
Not assuming it's the same Emma.
Huh?
I said,
Thanks
I don't
for
want to
hanging in
assume
there.
it's the same Emma.
So
I'm like, Emma.
What?
How are you? Can you hear us?
I'm good. I was listening. Pardon?
Can you hear us okay?
Let me stand so I'm in a good place. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
What a good conversation.
Yeah, it was. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. And like I put my hand up ages ago, and then like by the end of it, I was like, hang on a minute. I think like a lot of my questions were answered.
Oh, cool.
But I do have one. But there is one thing that I would like to ask.
Okay.
So I think I do a lot of similar things to the other girl on the call, like call in people to activate things that prevent the energy of what I want coming in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I
was just
okay. Cool. Listening to see if it was true.
No, Althea and I think, are both picking something up because I can see her face.
Yeah.
And
okay, because it's big, isn't it? What is it? Go for it. Just go, let it rip. I don't care.
Keep talking.
Okay, well, I'll tell you
Pardon?
what I'm getting, which is all I want to say is, would you, for the love of God, stop spinning yourself into like stories and wrongness and like creating things to fix?
Yeah, totally.
Things to fix.
So everywhere that you're
that's
creating things to fix instead of, so I don't know if I've said this before, but I had a call a few weeks ago with this guy, Graham Crossgill, and he like, I had heard this a million times, and when he said it, it finally like made sense. And he was like, you keep trying to fix things, and what if you just say, what can I add to my life today? And it has really changed my life, because even this morning, I mean, I don't know if I was able to maintain it throughout the day, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, there's nothing for me to fix. And I didn't have to create anything to fix. It was just like, there's nothing to fix. All I have is this energy of creation, 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 but without the manic of like, what do I have to create now? It was just this really beautiful sort of open space of like, it's creation. So it's like, I just have, it's just, there's this energy, Emma, of like, what else can I make myself wrong about so that I can fix stuff? And like, everywhere that you have,
and have something to do.
Everywhere that you've decided that your contribution to the world is validating other people's wrongness, will you destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Holding on to that a little bit, Emma.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to, like, my head's trying to understand what it means.
So who would you be leaving behind if you had nothing to fix? So
Everyone?
everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah. So bring up the energy of, well, we've got 4 minutes left. Bring up the energy. We're going to do a quickie. Bring up the energy of, and Althea's clearing stuff for you at the same time. Bring up the energy of everything you've decided would happen, would be, that you would leave, that you would lose, that you would be abandoning, all of that around if you had nothing to fix. If life were just, champagne and roses, and there was nothing for you to fix, and all you did was create for the planet. Bring up all of the energy of the wrongness of that. And then everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite. Yeah, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
And one more time, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Yeah.
Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So how is that now?
Like a lot more space through the center. My thought was like, what if I let go of it? Like, I kept thinking, like, where would I be if I let go of that? Like, what would happen? Like, who would be left? Like, in this, not like who am I leaving, but who would be left for me? In it,
right.
Like, yeah.
So is that still there?
Yeah, it's kind of like this fear of being totally alone, like on a plane where it's just like just space. It's like, is there anyone here for me? Oh my God.
So Emma, truth, do you like to be alone?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I do. I do.
There we go.
But then I get bored with myself.
I know that one. I've been lying for years saying I don't like to be alone.
I know,
So
I love it.
all
I
of that
love
crap,
it. There's so many
let
more
that
people to
go.
talk to.
And just allow yourself to be alone and admit that you like being alone. It's not your job to be everybody's mom and all, whatever that is. Just breathe.
And I'm pretty sure that your contribution to the planet doesn't have anything to do with validating other people's wrongness and other people's problems. And your contribution to the planet is probably a little bit more along the lines of creating something greater. But I'm just gonna guess,
Yeah, like,
Emma's
I'm not
amazing.
here to, like, point out
She's
all the
super
wrong
creative,
things.
bubbly, bright. I adore Emma. She's awesome.
Thank you, Althea.
Don't make me cry. You can't make me cry. I'm tearing up. No, I really mean that. You're amazing. And stop getting in your own way and
Thank you.
Be more of you. Like, really, you're awesome. I appreciate you very much.
So we have 33 seconds
appreciate
left.
you too.
So Emma, thank you for calling in again. And remember, try this without knowing exactly what it is, just asking all the time, what can I add to my life today? What can I add to my life today?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Well, maybe
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
next
much.
week.
Thank you so much again. That was really good.
Thank you to our callers. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all.
We have to figure out how to high five across the screen.
High five.
High five.
Okay. I don't know which way I'm
Hi, I'm Desi Arnaz Jr. Welcome to Letting Go with Guy Finley. Guy is the best-selling author of Let Go and Live in the Now and is the founding director of nonprofit Life of Learning Foundation. And now, here's Guy Finley.
I thought that we would take something small to talk about today. So we're going to talk a little bit about the nature of heaven. And I can't tell you how many times over a great period of time, greater than one can imagine, how many times